The Corbeau 4-point harness will be for the 79 and newer Mustang owners out there who are after a bolt-in harness that can be used with both your factory or your aftermarket seats, and best of all, does not require the use of a harness bar. Now the Corbeau option in black here can be had for right around $100 per side, and the bolt-in install will get a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches according to the site, and about an hour or so to get everything in place. But be sure to hang out towards the end of this video and we'll show you how it's done. So obviously safety is one of those things you should never really skimp on, and while yes, the factory seatbelts do a great job for most road-going cars out there, adding a little bit more safety through a better restraint system is not a bad call. Now on top of that, if you're really into tracking your Mustang, a 4 or 5-point harness like this will help keep you locked in and secured in your seat at all times, preventing you from sliding around when you're hitting those turns really hard, especially if you're still rocking a factory leather or vinyl seat. And with all that said, Corbeau is arguably one of the better known names in the aftermarket seat and restraint game, and their 4-point here will be one of the most affordable of its kind on the site, with the 3-point option coming in a little bit cheaper, but only by a few bucks. But let's talk a little bit more about what these Corbeau options will bring to the table. Now, first and foremost, they are a bolt-in part, meaning you don't have to mess with a harness bar to get everything installed properly. In fact, you can use these guys with a harness bar if you like, but they are actually designed to work without one, and therefore I will say there will be better options on the site and in the category to be used with the roll bar or harness bar that's going to feature more of a wraparound design as opposed to all of this length here with your shoulder restraints. Now instead, this 4-point from Corbeau will bolt into the rear location of your Mustang underneath the rear seat using this bolt hole right here, although in some very rare cases, some minor drilling might be required. Now, when bolted into the rear location, the shoulder harness strap will be within the 45-degree range, which is acceptable, although keeping things under 20% or 20 degrees rather would be ideal. Now, what you don't want to do is simply bolt those shoulder straps to the floor right behind the seat, 90-degreeing them essentially, because in the event of a collision, you're essentially just going to compress your spine, and that's obviously a big no-no. So by keeping these things at the 45-degree angle or less, the Corbeaus are going to keep you in good shape in the event of a collision. But aside from the shoulder mounting situation here with the Corbeau bolt-ins, the straps will be featuring a 2-inch wide military grade nylon webbing. They will be black in color, as you can see, but can also be had on the site in a few different colors if you'd like. Finally guys, these things will feature a very popular and easy to use push button release buckle, which in my opinion is going to be much easier to get in and out of compared to a cam lock design. But with all that said, what do you say we get into the installation as promised guys? And to give you a better idea of what you're in for, here is a detailed walkthrough along with a quick little tool breakdown.
Tools used for this installation are as follows. We have an impact gun or a ratchet, an 18mm socket, a 14mm socket, and a T50 Torx bit. Now with the use of a T50 Torx bit, what we're going to do is take the hardware out that attaches our factory seat belts to our floor. We're going to sandwich in the lap belt on our new harness, get those locked back down. After that, we're going to go ahead and remove the rear seat and get the hardware that attaches our factory rear seat belts down to the floor, and we're going to use those for the rear straps. Now with our T50, we're going to take out the center bolt right here. Just go ahead and put that off to the side. Next, we're going to get out our latch bolt that is over here next to our console. We're just going to take the bolt out of the bottom of our latch. And just have that sit off to the side also. Now we're ready to install our lap belt. All right, now I'm going to use the brand new hardware that comes in our kit because the bolts are a little bit longer and this will bite through both seat belts. Now you're going to get a spacer and a washer. I'm going to use all of that in conjunction, and I'm going to sandwich our new seat belt over top of our old one so it has that movement in it on the shank that's at the top of the bolt. With that, we're going to put our old seatbelt underneath of it and bolt this all right back down to the floor. The hardware that comes with the kit will bolt into the factory position. Now to do this, we're also going to need a 14mm socket this time because the new hardware is not a Torx bit. Now, as you can see, I have the bolt going through both seat belts. We're just gonna reinstall it into the floor. Let's go ahead and tighten it down using our 14 on our impact gun. You can do this with a regular ratchet also. And the same thing with our new hardware, just tighten it down. All right, now we're ready to get our over-the-shoulder harnesses bolted down. I have our seat belt latched in the front together. As you can see, it stays nice and centered. Takes a little bit of adjustment, but you can get it centered up where it's supposed to be. What you want to do is go ahead and pull your straps underneath your headrest. Make sure that they're nice and even. And we're gonna fold our seat back forward. Make sure our seat is all the way up so we can access our rear seat. To get the rear seat out, we're gonna go ahead and push in the 2 tabs, lift the rear seat up and out. We're just gonna go put that off to the side for now. We'll see if we can get it back in later, but we're really not gonna be able to use it once these harnesses are installed. Now, as you can see, I already have my seat lifted up, and that's because I wanna show you where these tabs are that you have to press in the button to pop this up. You wouldn't be able to see that with the seat still down in its position. Come down here, you'll see this tab. You're gonna go about the center of the floor. You're just gonna go ahead and push that in. That'll release the button to pull up on the pins and lift the seat out. All right, we're gonna begin by taking out this Torx bit here in the rear. It's also gonna be your T50. All right, now with our T50 Torx, we're gonna go ahead and get this bolt out. Now, to make this bolt come out a lot easier, I highly suggest getting underneath your car, finding the other side to this bolt, and spraying it down with a little bit of WD-40. And we're just gonna reinstall this one with our new hardware. Now, with the use of an 18mm socket, we're gonna go ahead and get the nut off of the latch side. All right, now I'm gonna sandwich this one, putting it directly onto the floor. Put our factory hardware back on and tighten it down. All right, now that our harness is all locked down into place, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get our rear seat to fit back in. Now, realistically, we probably can get it back in. Personally, myself, I would go with a rear seat delete kit. All right, now our harness is in, it's attached, it's secured. We can go ahead and get ourselves buckled in and hit the track. Now, for more parts and videos like these, make sure you visit us at AmericanMuscle.com.